These are some more times contestants ruined dinner on Hell's Kitchen. And this one right here was kicked out of the kitchen not once, not twice, but 3 times in the same service. It was the first dinner service of the 11th season, and both teams were geared up to showcase their abilities. That night, tableside steamed mussels were to be served by Amanda Giblin and Christian Rosati. What's more, actors Deborah Ann Wall and Owain Yeoman dined at Hell's Kitchen. As the red team received their first order, Gina Eloise annoyed Mary Ponelt with her silly questions. And when Gina finally started to cook the scallops, the team got worried. Gina flipped the scallops way too many times, and it looked like they weren't cooking very well. When she finally sent her scallops to the pass, the team was worried that Chef Ramsay would force them to restart. But this is what he said.
Who cooked them?
I did, Chef.
Excellent, thank you.
Wow, that was something no one expected. Meanwhile, in the blue team, when Ramsay called out their first order, they hardly gave a response, and this annoyed the famous chef. Then, Chef Ramsay had to ask them again, hoping to get a response from the team. Now, there was one contestant who wanted to stand out with his performance, and that was Sebastian Royo. Sebastian had never cooked Italian food before since he was a Mexican who loves spicy food. However, he wanted to impress Chef Ramsay by cooking the perfect risotto. But all he managed was an undercooked risotto, which left Chef Ramsay frustrated. Well, that was a failure. Anyway, as you know, Hell's Kitchen is all about collaboration. So while Sebastian's risotto was trashed, Zach Womack had cooked the scallops to perfection. And this further frustrated both Ramsay and Zach, since these delicious scallops were now wasted. In the red team, Gina wanted to prove to her teammates that she could impress Chef Ramsay with her scallops again. But this time, she ended up annoying them by messing up her timing. Despite asking Nedra Harris on several occasions for the time, Gina continued to look confused. Then, when Chef Ramsay asked for the time on the order, Gina continued to pester Nedra. Well, Nedra ignored her, but when Gina was about to walk up to the pass, Nedra still needed 2 more minutes. When the two finally delivered their dishes, the scallops were rejected for being overcooked and watery. First of all, Gina was a confused mess, but what she did next was even crazier. She confused Chef Ramsay.
Somebody else got to do risotto.
What do you mean?
Gina didn't think twice before throwing Nedra under the bus, and Nedra obviously wasn't happy about it. I mean, who would be? After all the drama, when Gina sent her refire to the pass, it was rejected for being too rubbery, and this angered Ramsay.
Can't even hold it together for the second ticket. Get out!
In the blue team, Sebastian got his refire accepted, and Zach came up with another round of perfectly cooked scallops. This guy was killing it! The blue team then started with their second ticket. And when Sebastian brought his capellini to the pass, it was rejected for being too spicy and disgusting. So, once again, Zach's perfectly cooked scallops were wasted. After Chef Ramsay urged Sebastian to get it together, Michael Landon gave him a little pep talk. And in response, Sebastian called him Mikey Wikey, much to the surprise of his teammates. Later, when he tried to communicate with Zach on the timing, Zach didn't respond. So Sebastian went right back to poking fun at people, and this time, he called Zach Zacky Wacky. But there was one person who didn't appreciate this behavior in the kitchen, and that was Chef Ramsay. And once he heard Sebastian calling out names, all hell broke loose.
Zacky Wacky.
Sorry, I apologize about that, Chef.
Yeah, do me a favor. Get out!
Despite being asked to leave, Sebastian tried to return to his station from behind the kitchen, but who was he trying to fool? Chef Ramsay then booted him out in the most iconic way.
Second time, get out!
Seeing the blue team in disarray, Christian decided to help his team out by serving mussels to the blue diners, even though some of them didn't order. And I have to say, that was a smart idea to buy some time and keep the diners happy. In the red team, Nedra and Mary managed to push out several orders of appetizers, and the team moved on to the entrees. But they soon stumbled when Danielle Bourne got completely lost and failed to remember the tickets. She then revealed to Susan Heaton that she had never worked in a brigade before. Danielle then grabbed the ticket, wondering if it was the one that Chef Ramsay had read. But when Ramsay saw this happening, he schooled her.
1, 2, 3,
Yes, Chef.
and it's that. You're making such hard work out of nothing.
In the blue kitchen, John Scallion and Zach finally finished their appetizers and moved on to the entrees. When Michael sent his lamb to the pass, it came out raw, much to Chef Ramsay's dismay. In the blue kitchen, Barrett Bear was ready to serve his Wellingtons. But Michael still needed some time on his lamb, which annoyed Barrett. Then, when they finally sent their meat to the pass, Chef Ramsay sent it right back. He believed that the lamb had more bone than meat and that the Wellingtons were overcooked. Ramsay was already frustrated, but as he talked to the blue team about it, guess who showed up? Sebastian! Oh no, he shouldn't have done that one. When Sebastian started to request that Chef Ramsay let him get back to his station, Ramsay lost it.
You come back downstairs again, you'll be leaving through the front door. Now get out!
And this time, Sebastian wasn't the only one to go. Chef Ramsay asked him to take Michael and Barrett along with him and to not return to the service again. In the red kitchen, Chef Ramsay was annoyed seeing the black kale missing. And when Ramsay asked about it, neither Danielle nor Susan answered. Later, when they brought their garnishes to the pass, Susan's garnish came out rubbery, much to Chef Ramsay's dismay. So he decided to kick her out. After, when Chef Ramsay reminded Danielle about the ticket, she got confused since she didn't know if he wanted the refire along with the new order. Ramsay had had enough of her and kicked her out too.
Or do you just need the 2 chicken and 2 Wellington?
Get out!
Back in the blue kitchen, Anthony was at the meat station and got his lamb accepted. But Jeremy Madden pissed Chef Ramsay off when he failed to repeat the next order even after Ramsay repeated it 3 times. It was now Jeremy's turn to leave the kitchen. 1 hour and a half into the service, Mary was assigned to the garnish station in addition to her station. Understandably, with 2 stations to manage, Mary was overwhelmed. One of the customers even received a dish without garnishes.
It needs garnish. You're absolutely right. My apologies. Give me 2 minutes.
Since she was struggling to get the garnishes done, Chef Ramsay urged someone to help her out. He then saw Jacqueline Baldessari doing nothing but hydrating herself, which made Ramsay furious. And obviously, she was the next one to leave the kitchen.
Get out! Get out!
Back in the blue kitchen, things hadn't got any better. When Dan sent his garnish up, it came out undercooked, and when John sent out his risotto, it was overcooked. Chef Ramsay was just about done with these guys.
Take Dan and yourself and get the f*** out of here.
The famous chef was already angry with the blue team because of their performance, but Ray Alongi made him even more furious. At this point, I didn't even think that was possible. When Chef Ramsay asked Ray to taste the risotto, you won't believe what Ray did. He used his finger, and this made Chef Ramsay infuriated. And well, I don't have to tell you what followed. Well, bye-bye Ray, see you in the dorms. Later on, when Anthony brought his risotto to the pass, Chef Ramsay rejected not only the dish, but also his presence in the kitchen. This left Zach as the only remaining chef in the blue kitchen. But how much could one man do? On top of the pressure of handling almost all the stations, Zach started to feel unwell due to dehydration.
Oh my god.
But he failed to give up. He soon got back to the kitchen and started working on the entrees. This man is a total beast. Christian was then called back to the kitchen. And along with sous chef James and sous chef Andy, they finally started serving the entrees. In the red kitchen, the team was back on track and was pushing out the entrees quickly. But Zach wasn't far behind since both teams finished their service together. Post-dinner service, the red team was declared as the winner, but Chef Ramsay praised Zach for his commitment.
You gave it your all. Yes, chef. That's the kind of commitment I want to see.
He deserved every bit of it. He was a one-man army indeed. While this service saw the most contestants being kicked out of the kitchen, this next service is the worst performance by the red team yet. It was the second day of dinner service for the All-Stars. That night, a fresh seafood appetizer was served tableside by Michelle Tribble and Giovanni Filippone. What's more, John Ram, Zach Ertz, Alyssa Nair, and Juki Johnston dined in. The blue team received their first order and it was from Alyssa and Juki's table. Chef Ramsay really wanted the orders to go out without any problems or mistakes. But we all know that wasn't gonna happen. Nick Peters-Bond and Benjamin Knack were the first to finish and swiftly got their dishes accepted. With a great start, the blue team pumped out their appetizers. In the red kitchen, Dana Cohen and Elise Harris were pushing out their appetizers just as well and quickly moved on to the entrees. As Barbie Marshall and Manda Palomino were working on their entrees, Ashley Nickel pissed Chef Ramsay off.
She's looking at her watch.
No, I'm sorry, Chef.
She's a little bit late for the date. Off.
45 minutes into the service, the blue team was handling their entrees. As Chef Ramsay called out the orders, Josh Travato didn't give a single response, making Ramsay irritated. When Josh gave an excuse for being focused on cooking his meat, Chef Ramsay sarcastically thanked him. Then Van Hurt made Chef Ramsay impatient when he delayed sending out the salmon order. Despite the problems, they got their order accepted and the blue team continued to push out their entrees. In the red kitchen, as Barbie got ready with her meat, Manda wasn't ready with the garnishes. Seeing this, Chef Ramsay became frustrated and accused Manda of dragging the red team down. Then Robin Almodovar pissed Chef Ramsay off by sending a raw salmon to the pass.
Manda can't even get her head round 2 tables at the same time.
Robin and Manda had already irritated Chef Ramsay enough, but Ashley added fuel to the fire by not paying any attention.
Psst. Watch your nails, watch your nails. Oh my god.
In the blue kitchen, everyone was ready with their dishes, but Josh was late with his, and that made Chef Ramsay really impatient. But the wait was surprisingly worth it, since his dish was accepted. The blue team continued to push out entrees at a great pace, and Ramsay loved the momentum. In the red kitchen, the red team was working on their refire. After Chef Ramsay asked for a time on the refires, Robin tried to communicate with Barbie, but Barbie rudely shut her down since she was talking to Ramsay. This attitude surprised everyone on the team. Seeing Barbie and Robin's tug of war, Chef Ramsay was dismayed.
I haven't dropped my salmon yet. I need to know how long you can lamb.
When the red team sent the refire to the pass, Chef Ramsay rejected every single one of them. And well, I can't tell you how infuriated he really was.
What does that mean?
Overcooked.
Last chance!
In the meantime, the blue team was still working really hard. The red team got their third attempt accepted and got started with their next ticket. As Robin and Ashley brought their dishes up to the pass, Chef Ramsay surprised the red team by calling the blue team over. But he excluded Nick and Giovanni since they had already started on their desserts. And just then, Chef Ramsay found Ashley's overcooked lobster Wellington and Robin's ice-cold halibut and was done with the red team. It was time to kick all of them out, and this is how the famous chef sent them packing.
Get the out!
Chef Ramsay then deemed the red team's performance to be worse than the opening night and criticized them for failing to bounce back. But in this next service, while one contestant used his bare hands to try the food, another failed to use her head. What Chef Ramsay did next hardly ever happens on Hell's Kitchen. It was the third day of dinner service. As both teams received their orders, Chef Ramsay warned Keith Green to not slob the risottos. However, Keith showed a mini horror movie to the customers by first tasting the risotto with his spoon, then using the same spoon to plate the dish. And wait, we're not done yet. He even grabbed the risotto rice with his bare hands. Seeing this, Chef Ramsay called him out. I mean, he had to, right? That's disgusting.
Customers in front of you, get a nice spoon or a ladle.
That wasn't the only thing he was called out for though. He didn't even dress properly, and Chef Ramsay had to literally ask him to pull his pants up. Sure, it's a live kitchen, and diners love to see chefs working on their food, but not someone's butt crack. However, this wasn't the only thing that had gone awry, since sometime later, Garrett Tell was caught whistling. This wasn't the start Chef Ramsay was looking forward to. And the red kitchen only made it worse, since Heather West overused her leadership skills, and Chef Ramsay couldn't handle it anymore.
Heather, do you understand that? Yes. It's her bloody call.
30 minutes into the service, both teams were finally pushing out their appetizers. But then, in the blue team, Giacomo Alfieri told sous chef Scott that his oven wasn't heating up very well. Upon examination, it was found that he didn't even turn it on. Giacomo, are you really that stupid? At first, sous chef Scott berated him, but then it was Chef Ramsay's turn.
Why is the oven not on? I'm not sure, Chef, I'm sorry. You're not sure? You donkey!
Now, I'm not sure what was up with this batch of contestants since Garrett angered Chef Ramsay by whistling again. In the red kitchen, Heather produced a very thin red wine for her fish dish, and seeing this, Chef Ramsay refused to serve it.
Don't send anything, Heather, unless you know it's perfect. Because you know damn well it's not going out there.
There was no room for substandard food here. An hour and 10 minutes into the service, in the blue kitchen, Giacomo made Chef Ramsay annoyed with his duck. When Ramsay asked Giacomo if he had another duck resting, he lied and claimed that he had, but it wasn't there. Chef Ramsay knew very well that he was lying and chewed him out right then and there.
Why are you lying to me? I'm sorry, Chef, I didn't mean to lie. You're f***ing useless, you know that.
The famous chef then reassigned Giacomo to the fish, Keith to the meat, Garrett to the appetizers, and Tom to the garnishes. 2 hours into the service, the blue team's diners were getting impatient with the wait. And in the red team, while they did serve half of their entrees, Maribel Miller was under great pressure. That night, the lamb Wellington was the most popular dish on the menu. And with many orders coming in, Maribel declared that she only had 6 Wellingtons left instead of 8, which was on order. Chef Ramsay was dismayed, and when he was about to talk, Sarah Horowitz talked over him. But we know that nobody should dare to cut Chef Ramsay off when he's talking. So this is what he did in response.
She's just told me about a massive problem we've got. You're mouthing off that we're good.
Ramsay then asked Maribel to make some fresh Wellingtons, but not before calling her utterly useless. The blue team finally got their 2 entree orders out. But Chef Ramsay was annoyed with Tom Pauly for whining all the time. A moment later, Jean-Philippe came back to the red kitchen to tell Chef Ramsay something shocking. A table was about to walk out because of the long wait times. Ramsay was frustrated with the red team and asked them about it. When Maribel decided that she needed 7 more minutes, the table agreed to stay, but reluctantly. However, when she sent her Wellingtons to the pass, they came out raw, much to Chef Ramsay's dismay. Chef Ramsay was getting furious with the wait and the mistakes piling up with every minute that passed. And well, Maribel started to stumble and the table got really restless. Back in the blue kitchen, Tom ran out of mashed potatoes, and this made Ramsay frustrated. When Tom looked confused after Chef Ramsay asked him a question, the famous chef lost it.
What the f is this, Tom?
Looking for it, Chef.
Later, the red table that had been waiting for a very long time came to Ramsay to speak to him about their food. Maribel then declared that she needed 45 more seconds on her meat. However, when she brought her Wellingtons to the pass, they were undercooked. By the time she cooked the Wellingtons right, the table had already left. This was one of the most disastrous services ever, and Chef Ramsay was just left with one thing to do to shut both kitchens down.
Switch everything off, yeah?
So these were the times when chefs ruined dinner on Hell's Kitchen. I agree, most of these contestants were terrible in their own right, but who do you think was the worst? Was it Sebastian, who challenged Chef Ramsay by disobeying his command? Or was it Keith, who literally stood out like a sore thumb? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. Now, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Thanks for watching, guys!